Okay, this is solving linear equations, notes 1-1. So this will be your first lesson. Okay. All right, when we're doing this, I do it a little bit different than most of your teachers have in the past. Most of the time you learn to get all your x's on one side, all your other numbers on the other, your variables on one side, okay, usually the left. I like the left as well. But you were taught subtract 5x, subtract 5x, add 13, and that's fine, and if that works for you, do it that way. Otherwise, you can take a look at it from my standpoint. Here's how I do it. I talk about the bridge, and I call the equal sign a bridge. Anytime we cross a bridge in life, we change. So if in the math field, if we cross a bridge, we're changing signs. So, for instance, if this is my bridge, I look and see is there any x's or any variables on the left side of the bridge. And there is. There's a 9x. It's a positive 9x. It's going to stay on the left side of the bridge. So he doesn't change. He stays a positive 9. I look for any other x's on the left side. There are none. So then I look on the right side and see is there any x's. And I see there is one. There's a 5x. So I have to get that 5x to cross the bridge so I can pair him up with his buddy. Okay, so that I have like terms on the same side. Now when the 5x crosses that bridge of life, it crosses that equal sign, he changes. He was a positive 5x, he now becomes a negative 5x. Now look for any other x's, any other variables. There are none. So I go ahead and close the bridge. That way nothing else can be brought over there. Now I'm looking for regular numbers, whole numbers, ones without variables, and I look on the right first. Is there any on the right? And I see that there's a positive 57. So he stays on the right side. See, here's the bridge. He was on the right. There's the bridge. He's still on the right. So he stays a positive. I look on the left. There's a negative 13. He's got to cross that bridge. He changes to a positive 13. Now I combine like terms. 9x's minus 5x's is 4x. 57 plus 13 is 70. Now we have to divide by 4 because we do the opposite of what is going on in the operation here because I want to solve for x. I don't want 4x equals, I want x equals. So it's being multiplied by 4, so I do the opposite, which is divide by 4. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. When I do that, I have 70 divided by 4, so you can throw it in your calculator or you can do it in your head, but I recommend always checking it with the calculator, and that comes out to 17.5. That is the final answer. Always box or circle your answers so they're easy to find. Okay, moving on to number 2, we see that we have a number touching parentheses. Anytime I have a number touching parentheses, that means to multiply. And because there's more than one thing in parentheses, I am going to distribute. So everything will get to be multiplied by 5. 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times negative 18 is negative 90, because a positive times a negative is a negative, equals. Now, one of the things we don't want to do is don't do 30 minus 4 because that's not following PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, then addition, subtraction. So that's our last step. I look in here and there's nothing for me to do in parentheses, but there is multiplication because I've got a negative 4 or a minus 4 touching parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and just write the 30 down. The negative 4 has to be distributed through, just like we did with the 5, you've got to multiply it times each of the things in parentheses. So negative 4 times 6x gives me a negative 24x. Negative 4 times a negative 9, that's a negative times a negative, which would be a positive 36. Now we're ready to get all of our x's on the left side, our variables on the left side. So I look, here's my bridge. On the left side I have a 15x. There's no more x's, so I look over here, I see there's an x here, and I need to bring it across the bridge, and it changes to a positive 24x. I look for any other x's. There are none, so I close the bridge. Now on the right side, I'll look for any regular numbers, whole numbers, without variables, and I write them down. There's a 30, and there's a plus 36. They were already on the right side of the bridge. They're still on the right side of the bridge, so they don't change signs. However, I look over on the left for any regular numbers, and I find a negative 90. He has to cross the bridge. When he crosses the bridge, it becomes a positive 90. Now I clean it up. 15x's plus 24x's is 39x's. 30 plus 36 plus 90 is 156. Last step, divide by 39. And x would equal 4. And we box our answer. Okay, moving on to number 3. Same thing. We have a number touching parentheses, so I have to distribute. 4 times x, 4x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 equals negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. Negative times a negative, so negative 2 times negative 8 is a positive 16x. Now we are ready to go ahead and move our x's to the same side. So I've got a 4x on the left. Move that 16x across, that's negative 16x. It changes signs. Equals, on the right I have a negative 18. I have a negative 12. I bring it across as a positive 12. 4x minus 16x is negative 12x. Negative 18 minus 12 is negative 6. Now we divide, last step, by negative 12. And we have a negative down to negative, so that is a positive. 6 over 12 will reduce to 1/2 or 0.5. Okay, and then finally our last one. For our last one, we look and we see there's only one x. It's a 4/5 x. So I write it down, then I close the bridge. On the right side, there's a 14. Okay, once I write that down, I look and I see a negative 6. It goes across as a positive 6. So then I have 4/5 x equals 20. Now to get rid of a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal. Whatever I did on one side, I have to do to the other. They cross out. X equals 20 times 5 over 4. That's 20 times 5 is 100. Divided by 4 is 25. Okay, then you're going to do for your assignment A1-1. You're doing numbers 5, 7, 8, 10, and 12. This concludes notes for 1-1.